Hello and welcome to episode 2 or 20, depending on whether or not you were on my Facebook and watched the original series of Got on Board, or now just starting being introduced to Got on Board, the book review. It's a working title. We'll figure things out as we go along. Stephen King. Like him or hate him, don't know him. It's currently 1 o'clock in the morning, so, brain not up to scratch. Also, my nose is itching. Hay fever or something. Enough about me. Let's talk about you. How do you feel about your mama? Sorry, psychology joke. Okay, Stephen King. Whether you like him, hate him, or don't know who he is, for those of you who don't know him, an incredibly prolific writer. He writes about 2 or 3 books a year, which may not sound like a lot, but that is a lot. But that is, that's quite a lot. Most authors put out 1 book every year, every 2 years. I think we waited, 2 or 3 years between every Harry Potter book. Trying to play to the common denominator among the audience. Yes, I do want to have an audience at a certain point, even though currently my only audience is my mother and my brother, who doesn't actually enjoy these videos, doesn't like my sense of humor. Okay, so Stephen King. From such a prolific author as you could probably expect, there are some good ones, there's some really good ones, and there are some meh, and then there's the stinkers, of course. And you kind of have to, know, because he's written so much since becoming famous. I think you really need, someone to recommend you. I would personally recommend, if you like horror, starting with Carrie. I adore that. Carrie or Cujo, both starting with a C. Cujo, to me, was a fantastic story. Misery was also great. The Shining, all of that, which were made into decent horror movies, actually. I like the movies too. Not as much as the books, but I'm a book person, so you will probably never hear me saying the book was better than the movie. Yeah, actually, there are cases in which they've made books out of movies, and I've enjoyed them more. That's just the kind of person I am. So today's book is one of those good ones. It's in the good category. I would recommend. It's called The Green Mile. Some of you may have seen the movie. Some of you may be familiar with the story by Stephen King. I was blocking the King out there. This is in its complete form, since it was originally published in 6 segments over a period of every 6 months. I believe they were published, and you can buy the little booklet of part 1, part 2, up to part 6. And they're actually, if you read them as segments, if you ration them out to yourself, as I did the first time I read them, they're great. If you don't, they're great. Anyways, it's a fantastic story. It follows Paul Edgecombe. Takes place in 1932 Depression-era America and in contemporary America. Basically, it's him in a nursing home, or whatever name you want to call those places where you put old people after you want to forget about them. And he's writing his journal about his time as the chief officer of of the execution block at a Georgia State Penitentiary. I think it's a Georgia State Penitentiary. Anyways, and he is in charge of what is called the Green Mile. Why is it called the Green Mile? Well, in what other prisons, what is known as the last mile, which is the hallway from where the prisoners who are to be executed are kept, leading up to the execution room, which back then was electric chair, also known as Old Sparky, was known as the last mile, but in their particular prison, it happens to be laid out with linoleum, so their particular prison is known as the Green Mile. That's the name in a nutshell. I'm sure somebody will, well, actually, since nobody actually watches the show, I'm pretty sure nobody will jump up and say, oh, there's all these metaphorical significance, but yeah, again, nobody watches the show. I think I've got, 1 or 2 viewers, and I'm related to both of them. It's a little depressing. Anyhow, moving on. It's his story about specific, particularly the end of his reign as the head of that particular area. Some of you may have seen the 1999 movie. I thought it was a great movie. I liked it. I'm not one of those people who says, "Oh, the book is better. I'm not going to watch the movie. I'll watch the movie anyways, and if it's really bad, I will complain. Oh God, the book is better." But as a general rule, I try to look at a movie objectively and say if it is good on its own merit. I can't think of an example. Watchmen. That perfectly. This poster reminded me. Watchmen. It's a good comic book movie and it's a good comic book. If you take the two and separate them, I think individually they're great. Put them together, I think, all right. I'm leaning more towards the comic book, but again, I'm the book guy, so. Um, so that's the Green Mile. Episode 2 or 20, depending on a number of factors. But yeah, if the 2 or 3 people who do watch this show will let me know what they want to see, what books, or whether I should just start randomly picking ones out of my shelves. Leave a comment down there in the comment bar on YouTube. It actually looks like I'm pointing at my crotch from where I'm sitting, but I am not, and probably should not have mentioned that. Probably should not mention everything that comes to my head, but it's late at night, and my brain, well, my mind hasn't, mind's been wandering since 1999. I haven't seen it since, but my brain shuts down after midnight, so. Which raises the question, why am I filming these episodes after midnight? It doesn't seem, well, because that's when I'm awake and bored. Okay, well, there's your question and answer. Excellent, maybe one day we'll do a Q&A. This has been a rather long episode, or maybe a short one, depending on how long future episodes run. I don't know. You're watching the show. You're as guilty as I am. Alright, that's about it. I would highly recommend the Green Mile. If you're a fan of Stephen King, if you're not a fan, I think this book is a great book. So, give it a try. That's my official review. Without getting into any spoilers. Good night, or good morning, or good day, or good evening, or whatever period of time you are watching this in. Well, right now it's past 1, but you get the point. Bye.